All right, good morning. Today is January the 12th, 2015. This is CISG113, Section 1, Information Security and Privacy. Today is the beginning of the second week in the semester, so I thought you must have already get used to the habit of reading the messages from this website. This is the UM Moodle environment. So now let's take a look at the number of students here. We have 14 students still in this class. So I'm very glad. Still a lot of you will come back here. Now let's take a look at the status of the questionnaire. I sent out a questionnaire towards the end of last week. So let's take a look at the number of people taking the questionnaire. I just have 6. So among the 14 people here, 8 of you have not done the questionnaire, and the deadline to get the questionnaire done is before 11:55 today. So could you please make sure you spare some time now, not now, in between our break, okay, and to get online and come to this questionnaire and then get some information from it, all right? It's very important that you get the questionnaire done. Well, I'm thinking of rewarding you to do the questionnaire, but I would like to see the situations first, okay? Because normally I'll give points which you can receive at the end of the semester once you get the questionnaire done. This is the questionnaire which is anonymous, but if you want to let me know you did something in the questionnaire, you need to send me a message through the documents hotline of the week. For example, if you did the questionnaire, no matter what, okay, you come here, document hotline week number 1, and you send me a message that I did your first week of the class questionnaire. Then you will be saved. If there is a bonus work, a bonus point you're going to receive, you will receive it because I'm the right one there, all right? So I just want to make sure that you know we have important means to gather your feedback, all right, almost at the end of each homework. And particularly at the end of the first week of the classes. Okay, now let's take a look at the video. Now we do keep video of the class. So last week we have 2 classes, so the video is respectively kept here for the YouTube. Okay, so if you click here on the YouTube, you can see the video. I have many videos kept, okay? So almost at the end of each class, we'll see the video. So that is the video for day 1, okay? That's the video for day 1. It's an hour and 30 minutes, okay? So basically you can read the lecture again, and that is the second video on Thursday, okay? So date number 2. That's why I say that if you do your sharing here, the video is correct ones, okay? So, and I have not sent out the call for participations yet, and I'm going to do it today. And so you can sign up for your in-class sharing on Thursday, okay? And subsequently in each class, if you sign up, I'll give you from 2 to 5 minutes time to share what you believe is important. Okay, so basically this is a simple service. The best thing about YouTube is I do not need to pay a dime to send my videos there, and the amount of memory is limited, and I'm not even charged for a single cent for that. So why not use it? Keep the best video in the class. Okay, I have more than 100 videos already. If you want to take a look at my past video in class, you're welcome to do it. But I'm cautious. I've not done what we call the fruited class video, and I've not uploaded yet because these are something that has to be done by the end of next year, and I refine all the best video that I believe is important. So basically, you see that we keep the records. So if you happen to be absent in a particular class, you just need to come back here, click the video, and you can watch the class going on. All right? So last week, I have introduced to you that we do have an important syllabus for you to be aware of, and this week, in order to help you understand the syllabus better, I have given you the second week's message based on this framework of ideas. So if you look at the second message of this week, okay, which you can do it either from here or you can just read it from here. Okay, this is the second week's message from me. It's very important that you keep in touch with the message that I release every week. Almost I release message on Sunday. So basically you read the message and you know that the basic framework or ideas I would like you to get yourself updated. And my focus is you must spend time during this week to read individual links here to get yourself updated on the syllabus, on the expected submissions time and the number of submissions here. So if I click on this, you see that this is the submission schedule. You're supposed to submit the first set of learning artifacts for learning contract number 1 during the week from January the 25th to January the 31st, which is the end of this month. Okay, that is concerned with learning contract number 1. Now, if you ask the question, what are we going to submit? You click on this link, okay, then you can see that you are supposed to submit a number of items. First of all, it's going to be an online journal. As I have recommended to you, you are supposed to finish 1 journal per week based on 1 single topic you select from that reading list. And if you have already gone through the reading list of the semester, you know that in each reading list we have more than 1 question. And each question is considered as 1 topic. You need to select 1 question per week from that week's reading list. And then underneath that question, we have a number of information sources. And you need to select at least 1 source to start out the note-taking. And that is the basis of your journal. Now we have a specific means to take notes, okay, that is considered as the OIA format. The O represents the observations, the I represents interpretations, and the A represents applications. So in doing the OIA format of the note-taking, we consider that it's a legitimate learning journal, and you pick the journal using the electronic notebook we provide to you in the week's Moodle site. Okay? So why do we need to do OIA? Because one of the purposes in doing this course is to enable your learn to learn, and one of the specific attributes to do learn to learn is to do critical thinking on yourself. And so OIA is one way to do critical thinking, all right? So if you get used to using the OIA format to take notes on a specific topic of your interest, I'm sure by the end of the semester, you will have yourself train up and develop the habit of thinking that is considered to be very much critical thinking. All right, having done your journal, you need to move the material from your journal to the online discussion forum of that particular week. And there, you're going to solicit feedback from your fellow student, particularly your learning partner. Oh, by the way, learning partner. You're supposed to pick and inform me of your learning partner by the end of this week. Okay, you need a learning partner to get the job done in each of the 3 assignments in the semester, and we call this a learning contract. So in the online discussion forum, which is again another Web 2.02, available from the Moodle environment, you need to solicit responses from your learning partner, asking for the feedback of your learning partner after you have posed your journals there for your learning partner's comments or for your fellow students' comment if you happen to post it in the public online discussion forum. But as I said, we're going to give you a pair online discussion forum starting next week. Okay, so for the first 2 weeks, you still can use the public online discussion forum to do your discussions, but starting from the 3rd and the 4th week, which is the remaining 2 weeks, in the first learning contract, you are supposed to have a private conversations with your learning partner. What do you think, all right? And back your learning partner for his or her feedback. When your learning partners do that for you, you need to do the same for your learning partner so that conversation is mutual. And you must render a topic which is different from a topic produced by your learning partner. In other words, if I have two questions in a particular reading list, you can only select a question which is different from the learning partner's question. Okay? You do not select the same question. Alright, so when you do the discussion, it's you serve your learning partner with his or her topic, and your learning partner is going to serve you with your own topic. Alright, so once you finish the online discussion forum, you got some details and you got some responses, and you do some more thinking. So start with your journal, start with the online discussion detail. You proceed to write a report on your topic. Okay, because your topic is based on your question. And your learning partner will proceed to write his or her report on his or her topic, okay, based on his or her journal and the discussion detail obtained through you. So that it's the first important learning artifact, the first one, journal. The second one is discussion detail. The third one is a report, okay, a report on the topic. And then after you finish writing the report, you put your report and your learning partner's report together, and you submit this report, which contains two topics. All right, and that is the third learning artifact. Well, what about the fourth learning artifact, which is called reflective blog, which is a less heavyweight writing, but is a very personal writing on what you have learned from this process of selecting a topic, writing a journal, discussing your journal's topics with your learning partner, and getting the report done. Now, you need to write something much more reflective, indicative of your inner learning from the effort you spend doing the topic, discussing the topic, and finally, reporting on the topic. Now you can share that experience using a reflective blog, and you need to write the blog using the Moodle environment blog facilities, and then you submit the blog. At the end of that, you finish 4 items, 4 important learning artifacts. You need to come to the proposal of your own. For example, you have spent about 3 to 4 weeks' time now doing this course using the topics of interest. Normally, you should have gone through 4 reading lists, okay? And in each reading list, you select 1 topic, and then finally, you elaborate on 1 topic for submissions. But what about the other topic? Maybe you are interested in them. And so the proposal gives you a chance to ask for an opportunity to do something of your own, okay? And so you write a proposal, including, first of all, the name of the proposal, which is called a topic, a set of 3 questions, asking for meaningful questions on the topic, a set of 3 to 5 references, giving support to why this topic is interesting, and where can you find more information about this topic, and also a paragraph which is less than or no more than 200 English words, which describe the significance of the topic. So you, in your proposal, it's just 1 A4 page long. It contains the name of the topic, 3 essential questions, 3 to 5 references, and a simple paragraph, the rationale. Okay? Well, then you also need to prepare 1 meeting minute, which is the meeting minute detailing the discussions, the informal discussions you have with your learning partner in the 2 weeks, last 2 weeks of the first learning contract. I've given you a format here to do the meeting minutes. It's basically anything you talk about with your learning partner, specifically the details on which topic is chosen by whom in your pair, okay? And what to do together, when you're going to get online in the Moodle environment, get our discussions done, when are you going to look at my report and give me some feedback, whatever it is, okay? But basically, these are the items, which is very important. And once you got those items done, okay, so when you get back to the Moodle environment here, you can see at the end of the 4th week, okay, you can see the submission links for the learning contract number 1. So each of this submission link, it represents 1 item you need to submit, okay? So you go to the submission link and you submit the item over there. At the end of that, you complete the student experience questionnaire for this learning contract, okay? And so after your submissions, about 1 week, and you can see the score on individual item you got here, okay? And you can see the score summary, okay? That is the completions of 1 learning contract. Okay, now let me stop here and let's get back to the meaning of this first learning contract. So if you look at the theme of the first learning contract, we say it's IBL, inquiry-based learning. And for this week, we step into the common module called Introductions to IT and Knowledge Society. Well, that does not mean we got everything here done, okay? We would like you to spend your leisure time, or better say, learning time during the week, review all those individual video here, and then make sure you complete the reading list, okay, in the context of at least selecting one topic for that week and get the notes done, okay? Be it this question or the other question. And when you got the notes done, okay, and definitely a lot of you will just do the notes right here, okay? So you click on, you start to note, and you click on things like this, and we got notes done like that, okay? And this is the way to put your notes here, and this is your personal area, okay? Once you got the notes here, you're going to move your notes to your public discussion forum, just solicit feedback from your fellow students. And so when you look at the public discussion forum here, all right, I have not seen your posting here yet because maybe you have not finished the notes, all right? But I've already given you a lot of things here on the context of, for example, this is a very famous story just happened 2 days ago, okay, in Germany about the cyber attack they received, and the cyber attack directly translated into physical attack in the studio there, and it really spoils a lot of work, okay? And then you can comment on that, and each one of this can comment on that. You're supposed to do things like this exercise, right? And so today, this is week number 2, okay? Let's get started with some basic ideas of inquiry-based learning, all right? Inquiry-based learning, what is IBL? Okay, let's listen to some story from students, all right?
So, Jamie, can you give us a definition of IBL?
Well, I think it's quite difficult to define IBL. I think it means a lot of different things to different people, depending on whether you're a member of staff or a student or what kind of discipline or subject you're doing. But I think in kind of general terms, it's about putting questions and ideas at the centre of learning, so student investigations and getting students to do research instead of kind of finding out the answers for themselves, instead of directing them and telling the answer and expecting them to remember it. I think people learn and remember things and are able to reuse them much more effectively if they've found them out for themselves than if they've just been told it and expected to remember it.
Hi Laura, can you give us a definition of IBL, please?
For me, inquiry-based learning, there isn't one answer. So I would have to say that it's a real variety of things. It can be working alone, independently, going away and researching something for yourself, and really making the topic your own, making the information your own, and then creating your own knowledge base. Or it can equally be network learning, so a combination of working with different people within staff, but also with other sort of peers, other students. And again, sort of researching through sort of discussion and then evaluating that information that you've got and then turning that again into a new knowledge base through your inquiry.
Where I was told that they're having a conference next door. Can we turn down 1 minute? This is a good indication of the lack of insulation between the two groups. So, but anyway, try to be cooperated.
Now, let's pretend.
Now, let's, you finished watching the 1 minute introductions of IBL. Now, I would like you to, let's stop here. This is a continuation to the second one, all right? This is another very interesting stuff on problem-based learning in Texas. We get to that in the third learning contract, but not now. Here we go. Now, may I invite you to put some thought into what you have read from the video, which is on IBL. Now, the theme of the first learning contract is IBL. So, what's the differences between what they say, you're going to learn from what you're used to in the context of always you have a teacher standing in front of you telling you everything. Now, I would like you to put some thinking into it in about 1 to 2 minutes, and I'm going to pass the microphone to you and see if you're willing to express a little bit of your views, okay? Now, do some thinking first, 1 to 2 minutes, okay? What is meant by IBL based on your own conceptions and also based on what you saw from the video, all right? Normally, we should start from any persons who are interested in giving a response. So maybe Billy, can you give us some of your ideas of what IBL is all about? Unfortunately, my camera is on the back, so if you don't like, you can just speak, and if you want to face the camera, definitely you want. It's possible. So can you give us some idea of what IBL is based on your own ideas?
In my opinion, I think IBL is idea of reveal something and just to learning more well, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's try to invite you to pass the microphone to anyone you want to choose, anyone. So many people here. Pass the microphone to one of them. Yeah. All right, thank you. Could you introduce yourself? Yes.
Yes. My name is Weiser.
Wyson, thank you. What do you think?
IBL.
Yes.
I think that is something about learning problem and
Yes.
yes, and use our own thought to think about the problem and
Okay.
solve it.
All right, so that's very good. So you have indicated a lot of very good points. So could you pass the microphone to someone of your choice? Yes, just go ahead. Hello. Yes. Will you help us to understand a little bit your perspective on IBL? And you can introduce yourself. Just give some idea. Yes. Don't worry much about it. Just get used to participating in class. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I don't think I have a good understanding
Okay.
of IBL.
Okay.
Can I think more time?
Yes, I think it's okay.
Thank you.
So can you pass the microphone to anyone? All right. So is it Anna over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Anna, what do you think?
As far as I'm concerned, I think IBL is a kind of learning which is based on information and, for example, you as a teacher give us something like news, and then we look at it and find the information on it, and then we try to think about something.
Okay. Thank you, Anna. Now, may I suggest that if you're willing, okay, you can stand up and face the camera when you talk, because that you will be on the camera. Otherwise, just taping your back is not very polite. So, but anyway, would you like to pass the microphone to someone? Sammy? Oh, okay. Thank you, Sammy.
I think IBL means a way of learning that we seek the information or we gain knowledge positively, and we do some research and we find the answer ourselves instead of that we learn something from the teacher passively, and we are taking a positive role instead of a passive role.
Okay, thank you, Sammy. Now, I'm going to hold this sharing for a minute, and I'm going to play this video one more time. So would you please pay attention to some of the, that there is no definite model answer, okay? So pay attention to some of the sharing produced by the students, okay? And try to see if there is anything specific you want to share, okay? This is just 1 minute and 23 seconds.
So, Jamie, can you give us a definition definition of IBL?
Well, I think it's quite difficult to define IBL. I think it means a lot of different things to different people, depending on whether you're a member of staff or a student or what kind of discipline or subjects you're doing. But I think in kind of general terms, it's about putting questions and ideas at the centre of learning, so student investigations and getting students to do research instead of kind of finding out the answers for themselves, instead of directing them and telling them the answer and expecting them to remember it. I think people learn and remember things and are able to reuse them much more effectively if they've found them out for themselves than if they've just been told it and expected to remember it.
Hi Laura, can you give us a definition of IBL please?
For me, inquiry-based learning, there isn't one answer. So I would have to say that it's a real variety of things. It can be working alone, independently, going away and researching something for yourself, and really making the topic your own, making the information your own, and then creating your own knowledge base. Or it can equally be network learning. So a combination of working with different people within staff, but also with other sort of peers, other students. And again, sort of researching through sort of discussion and then evaluating that information that you've got and then turning that again into a new knowledge base through your inquiry.
Okay, so what do you think? We're going to stop that because it's going to get another videos coming up. So what do you think? So what we are going to do now is to help you understand the meaning of IBL. It's, Jamie said, one of the characteristics of IBL is we're not going to give direct answer to students. Because normally when the teachers stand in front of the classroom, teachers consider it as the same on stage. So I am the authority, I'm the source of knowledge. So here we go, I'm going to tell you what you're supposed to learn, and you're going to memorize them in the context of test and exam. My job is to see how much you can reproduce what I told you, and if you can reproduce what I told you, close to 90% of my understanding, I'll give you an A. If you cannot reproduce what I told you, close to at least 70% of what I said, I might give you a D. Well, this kind of what we call lecture format, which is based on authority to tell you information, may not be, and indeed it has not been, a very effective way to help students learn. If we want students to learn something and retain that something for what it is a long time in their living, we want a method which can impact on the students' living and learning and enable the student to remember the specific knowledge for as long as possible. And we discovered that we want you to experience IBL instead of what we call lecture-based learning, which is you can always learn any knowledge today in the internet era by pressing a button in the keyboard. So IBL is basically an inquiry. What is meant by inquiry? Basically, do you have the ability to ask the right question? So if you have the ability to ask the right question, based on the question you ask, you should know where to go to look for an answer. Do you need some help?
I'm looking for a conference room.
Next room.
Oh, sorry.
All right. All right. So the idea here is we want you to discover something of your own interest. If you are forced to do something which is not basically your own interest, it's very hard for you to have the momentum to carry on. But how are we going to do that? Now that you have chosen this course, and for this course, we have a specific theme, information security and privacy. And that's why in the questionnaire I asked you, what made you choose this course? What is it in this course after you have read the syllabus that will make you feel interesting? Well, basically, we have some choices under a specific umbrella, okay, that you have no choice of being born into the world, okay? This is someone, not you, can decide that you were born into the world, and now you're living in this world. You can make some choices, as such as you are studying in this course, you can make some choices. So what are the choices you can make here? Well, you can select what topic you would like to study based on reading list questions. Not many, but at least you have some choices. You can ask questions which will eventually lead to some meaningful searches and researches of the answer. And that's why Jamie said it's a research process where you're not supposed to memorize or not, but you're supposed to find the answer on your own and get the information and digest the information and think for yourself, this fits what you want. So basically, doing research, academic research, is also an exploration process. It's a process of inquiry, questioning, all right? So how are we going to do that? Let me see. Do I have a good example here? Okay, let's take a look at high school. 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Long with another look inside our Fayetteville classrooms. Inquiry-based learning is one of many terms used to describe educational approaches that are driven by a learner's questions. Today we join an 8th grade science classroom where a discussion of toxic waste disposal in the Town landfill is underway. Students have previously simulated environmental waste and have discussed why proper disposal is so important to Northwest Arkansas. In inquiry-based learning, the teacher's role is to guide the students in finding the answers and encourage them to ask new questions that they honestly care about. When students choose their own questions, they're motivated to learn and they develop a sense of ownership. In this example, students are working in collaborative teams to develop a question that the class will work on together to resolve.
We're talking about a landfill, and we know we want to prevent toxic waste from entering into the groundwater, because then inevitably, if it enters into the groundwater, then we end up drinking it, and it ends up harming us and other things around us. I want you guys to come up with the questions to test. So we've got these different materials, and I want you all to, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. During this 3 minutes, I want you to work with your partners at your tables, and I want you to brainstorm ideas. Now, these are just ideas. So, like, you guys are going to do one thing, you'll do one thing, you'll do one thing, you'll do one thing. Like 3 people. Yeah, so you guys are all working together, but it's... No, 10 seconds! In inquiry-based learning, students get to actually ask the questions, and they get to pose questions and then come up with their own answers. By doing this, they get to be actively engaged in the learning process. So when they're actively engaged, they are able to learn more and just be able to see the whole scientific process, from the asking questions stage to the gathering results and conclusion stage. I want you guys to come up with your conclusion for your experiment, your individual experiment. You're coming up with that conclusion.
It's not just what students learn, but also how they learn that matters.
So that's say on the bottom, and it never leaks through into the bottom. The 30 milliliters in the 5 of coffee fluoride never got through our liner, so it was pretty efficient.
When students engage in project-based learning to collaborate, collect, and analyze real data, and then present their findings, they acquire cognitive, technological, and social skills. These skills have been identified as necessary in the 21st century classroom.
There are several different layers of inquiry and different levels of inquiry that you can do with your classrooms. The lesson that you saw today was probably around a level 2 inquiry, where the students were guided in their approach, but they still had some freedom to do different experiments and be able to find the results themselves.
We hope that you enjoyed this classroom visit and will be with us next time as we view an outdoor classroom and take a peek at project-based learning.
All right.
Carolyn Long.
That's in the first learning contract. So we got some basic ideas of what secondary students are doing, and basically this is also my kids are doing in the school too, in Macau. So now, let's take a look at this. Let me stop that first. This because a lot of very interesting questions. In the second week, we would like you to learn how to think a little bit more and come up with questions after I've given you some stimulus. where in psychology we have a stimulus response model. Is very B.F. Skinner's behaviorisms. I give you something, you're going to respond something. If I reinforce that, you like it. If I give you negative reinforcement, you don't like it, that is behaviorisms. Okay, that is a little bit of the behaviorisms here. So let's try to see a basic ideas of introductions to IT. Okay, let's see. Yes. How much time do we have now? All right, so I'm going to let you watch a little bit on digitalations, okay? There's a very good documentary produced in 2010. It's the second one I would like you to learn about information technology and novice society. Okay, so here we go. Let's go for one chapter. You can always come here, okay? So now it's time for you to enjoy a documentary, chapter 1, Distracted by Everything, okay? Hope the line is possible. Okay, let's see. We do have some speed problem here. We don't have a lot of people in this class, so okay.
In 2007, Frontline broadcast a film called Growing Up Online.
You need to have the internet on to talk to your friends because everybody uses it.
It can be more crazy online because there's no one watching to see what you're actually doing.
I have no idea what she was doing on the internet. That was a big surprise.
But today, it's not just our kids. All of us are immersed in technology all the time.
This is a digital moment in my life.
From multitasking
Multitasking could be essentially dumbing down the world.
to the military,
It is a complete cultural change for the Air Force.
in work,
I mean, you've all met in your life at one point, right?
Actually, no.
and at play,
The first hour I was hooked. I would play literally nonstop.
and on the virtual frontier.
The question is, are we entering a new paradigm? Or is this just the next best thing?
That's okay, they're not in the real world.
I think that you will live in the virtual world a significant percentage of the time.
Tonight, Frontline producer Rachel Dresson and correspondent Douglas Rushkoff look at the wired world we're living in, our new digital nation.
You kind of want to push the pause button, and everything stops, and we can look and say, just what's going on here?
So, it really hit me one night about a month ago. I was in the kitchen and I was cooking dinner, chopping vegetables, and my husband was in the next room on his laptop. And across the table from my
teenagers on the phones and on the computers and everything. When I was growing up, it wasn't like that.
I just remember when I went on my honeymoon 25 years ago, we were away for 2 weeks and we didn't know anything that happened in the 2 weeks that we were gone because we were on vacation. And that simply doesn't happen anymore.
We now have these tools to reach so many people, and all of a sudden we look around and say, well, you know, now what?
Well, over half my life exists in the digital world. I'm connected to my BlackBerry. I need it at all times. I can't even imagine not having it.
I use my phone. I go on MySpace, Twitter, Facebook, everything.
That's my digital life.
This is where it all began. This is the first.
When I started this project, looking at life in the digital age, the first person I turned to was my friend Douglas Rushkoff, whom I've worked with on 2 previous films. Doug's been writing about the internet for close to 2 decades.
Well, gigs are normal now.
We decided to start here, on the campus of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Cambridge.
If anyone is a new species of digital native, it would be the MIT student.
These kids are among the smartest, most wired people on the planet right now. They may hardly remember a time when they weren't able to be online anywhere they went.
Back to your tests this week.
Everywhere you go on this campus, kids are looking at screens, sometimes multiple screens.
Do you want any to go back?
Take Eliza. She's 20, mechanical engineering major, and completely wired all the time.
Beta for as long as Gmail's staying beta, a decade. I have a few friends who, if they hear the word BlackBerry, they think of me. Like, I am never off of it. It is glued to me. When it's more than arm's length for me, I start to get panicky. It's very disconcerting. I I'll pull it up and show you, and I don't even send it to you. Are we G-Chat buddies? Can I just? I'm always IMing or texting or things like that. Always checking my phone, taking care of other things while I'm doing something else.
You are talking to your friend at the same time you're talking to your other friend. At the same time you're emailing another friend about what you're going to do tomorrow night. Classes here are we kind of understand that too between each other. We're all so busy that it's okay if I'm talking to Murph right now and his BlackBerry goes on and he has to start going on. I'm like, well, that's okay because I'm going to do that to him anyways. So it's a mutual understanding. School, I think, is kind of the same. Like, you're paying attention to class to your professor, you're emailing another professor, and you're looking at something else.
Nobody who's been teaching for 25 years would say that our students aren't different now than they were then. I mean, they need to be stimulated in ways that didn't need to be stimulated before.
Sherry Turkle has been teaching at MIT for more than 30 years.
Every professor who looks out onto a sea of students these days knows there's email, Facebook, Googling me, Googling them, Googling the next door neighbor that's happening in the classroom.
Like most universities, MIT allows laptops in its classes at the professor's discretion.
I mean, it even changes how teachers teach because now the pressure is on teaching kind of scintillating PowerPoint things that will distract them from the web.
So you've hit on most of it on the key points. There are 2 sorts of things you can test students about. You can test how well they're paying attention in lecture, and you can test how well they're absorbing information from readings that you assign. And I don't think they're doing either of those things well. I have no idea how to. I just gave my class a midterm, and I was really asking obvious questions like, have they been attending carefully in lecture, and have they been doing readings carefully? Everyone should have gotten 100% on this exam, and the mean score was probably about 75%. It's not that the students are dumb. It's not that they're not trying. I think they're trying in a way that's not as effective as it could be because they're distracted by everything else.
I teach at MIT and teach the most brilliant students in the world. But they have done themselves a disservice by drinking the Kool-Aid and believing that a multitasking learning environment will serve their best purposes. There really are important things you cannot think about unless it's still and you're only thinking about one thing at a time. There are just some things that are not amenable to being thought about in conjunction with 15 other things.
I have 25 in the last 15 minutes. I feel like the professors here do have to accept that we can multitask very well and that we do at all times.
try and, restrict us from doing it, it's almost unfair because we are completely capable of moving in between lecture and other things and just keeping track of the many things that are going on in our lives.
No one's actually measured whether these kids are as successful at multitasking as they claim to be. But out in California, a respected research lab is studying their counterparts on the Stanford campus in Palo Alto.
They understand the research, they're smart kids, but they seem utterly convinced it doesn't apply to them.
We want to study what's really going on in the brain. When it comes to what parts of the brain are doing, we know nothing. These are really the first studies of brain imaging of multitaskers versus non-multitaskers. So anything we discover here is new, because we know zero.
We're going to stop here because this is chapter 2. All right. The good things about this is we can always come back to watch it. You see people. Okay. Now I would like you to spend time. Do you have a piece of paper? If not, I'm going to give you a piece of paper. Come up with 3 questions for the first chapter. Yourself. Come up with 3 questions. Any questions you like. Okay. So. The best thing is, after you have got the question, you type the question on the public discussion forum, all right? If you can just type it in the public discussion forum for week number 1, that will be fine. If you need a piece of paper, I'm going to give you 1 because I got 1 packed here, okay? But in the meantime, as I said, you have the mobile phone. Your mobile phone could easily get you online for the Moodle environment. And when you're online, please make sure you type in the question through the public discussion forum there. That will help the whole class of students, your fellow students, understand what you think. All right? Allow me some time to open up this. All right? Can you help? Just get some piece of paper, okay? All right? And good, thank you. And distribute it among your friends here. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Get 1 for yourself. Make sure you get 1 for yourself. Okay, feel free to get 1 piece of paper. If you need 1 piece of paper, the most important thing is the Moodle environment. You type something there, okay? And then everybody could read your question and maybe respond to it. Now that is what we call collaborative learning. We watch something together, we discuss after we have put some thoughts into it, and then we try and elaborate on some of the issues. Okay, your piece of paper? Okay, that's good. Now, the whole documentary is 90 minutes, but if we do it this way, 8 minutes, 7 minutes for each of the themes, it's easier for you to think about specific questions there, okay? Now, definitely remember, this week we have the theme called Information Technologies and Knowledge Society, all right? And so I invite you to watch this documentary, not just now, but at home, at your time, when you come back to the Moodle environment. Click the link and print, just prints away, all right? So, in the meantime, I'm going to take attendance for today. Your job is to come up with questions which make sense for that particular chapter of the video. Remember, the theme is distracted by everything. Distracted by everything. The story you saw there, you just need to raise your hand when your name is called. Lucas, not here today. Angelina, thank you. Horace, not here today. Andy, thank you. Anna, thank you. Annie, thank you. Billy, thank you. Giles, thank you. Timmy, thank you. Wysant, thank you. Sammy, thank you. Lancy, thank you. Sophie, thank you. Yuman, thank you. Okay, any person's name has not been called? Alright. So, keep on coming up with your question. You have 5 minutes time. I was trying to invite you to share with us your questions at 11:05. Now remember, we're trying to help you to understand the meaning of inquiry-based learning in the context of watching a documentary. And your job here is to come up with questions, meaningful questions, which could help you understand more about what has impact on you. It's a statements. And actually, I would like you to go to the public discussion forum for week number 2, not week number 1, because this is week number 2, I'm sorry. So you create a discussion right here with your questions there, all right? So we can see the questions with your mobile devices. So here we go. Let's try to see if we got some responses from you. First, we're going to check on the public discussion forum. It's the most convenient way to get something right here. So we got questions from Angel. So very interesting. Nowadays, as the technology is improving, it's if we do not know how to communicate with others. A very interesting question. I think that's matched a lot with what Sherry Turtle said. We are mostly alone together. Second question, can we actually live without our phone, computer, or other devices for one day? It's a big challenge, right? What actually makes us to check our messages, mails all the day? Okay, another very good question that when I come home, or when I get back to my office, when I get back to my computer, the first thing I will go to check my Facebook. Because that is a way how I can get in touch with a lot of my friends. I consider it as part of my daily routine, or better say minute by hour routine. Now that's a very interesting question. Now we do not need to have answers, okay? Because maybe we'll give you a chance to guide us for discussions on that. That it's something you want to continue, that we'll invite you to sign for discussions, that it's in-class participations in every class, subsequent class, and you can earn points for that, all right? So let's try to get back to the forum first and see if we have any other questions. Now, guys, please go ahead and post something, all right? So, Anna, the microphone is next to you. If you want to say something, or Sammy? It's okay. Right.
I wonder how to start. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yes, which one? It's, wow, that's, where do you got it?
It's a new word.
It's a pupping. It's a pupping. Where do you got this? I definitely not from the video. Not from the video, right? You got it from the video?
It's a kind of
Okay.
phenomenon. In
Okay.
Chinese we call
Okay.
低头族.
Okay. So, could you try to explain in English a little bit? Make it simple.
It describes
低头族. Like this, right?
a phenomenon that teenagers always look at the screen,
Yeah.
and they do such posture like.
Yeah. They always do this,
Landmark.
because they're reading texting, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
How to start?
how to stop that? Wow, that's a difficult question. How to stop that? I cannot stop my son from playing with Minecraft once he knows how to do it, because he actually has a good reason. He said, Dad, Minecraft is not just a game. Minecraft is an environment where you can create a lot of things. Look at my world there. He introduced me a lot of his creations. Okay? That is one response from my son. You take away the phone from the kids. The only way I can do now is when I have 3 kids, okay? My eldest son is 13 years old, he's doing Form 1. The second son is 9-year-old, he's doing primary 4. And my youngest daughter is 7 years old, she's doing primary 2. And all my kids, except for my eldest son, asked me, they're already going to have an iPhone or smartphone. And I asked them, what do you need that for? Well, to give you a call when we could not see you, why we expected, oh really? I give you my phone, and it's a 2G phone. And then that is not good enough there. And then actually he loves to get online. And I was told, and I just know yesterday, he created his own YouTube account for my kids. Okay? And he posts a lot of the video, his own video, piano video, or Minecraft video online. And he showed it to me. I said, good. How are we going to stop it? What do you think?
I think the adults,
Yeah.
especially the parents, should forbid their kids or limit the hours. Because when I was a child, my mother always limited me to play computer games only 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's a very good mom. She's doing a lot of good work. But
She's
are you
very
willing to
sweet.
listen? Are you willing to listen to your mom's?
If I don't listen,
No more computer.
yeah, and I remember in my memory once I don't listened to her, and then she was very angry,
Okay.
and then she shut off the
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
Take away your privilege to use the computer.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Cut off the
Yeah.
electronic.
What?
Yeah.
What do you think, Sammy? You study psychology.
Well, actually, as the phenomenon that Anna mentioned, that fobbing, actually, I'm not sure that whether is this phenomenon a really bad one, and I think it has its reason to appear, because people always need something to do. When there's no mobile phones that era, people maybe read a book or read newspapers.
Yes.
That's also a certain kind of
I might want you to face on this side because you're talking
Well.
to your fellow students, not just me. Yes.
So I don't think that really this will be our absolute best situation for us.
Okay, so Sammy is somewhere in the tree, just very considerate of the needs of the kids. Okay, so what do you think, Lancy? Maybe you can face your fellow students. Yes, over that side. Yeah. Sorry for that. What do you think? Yes.
In my opinion, it is necessary in our modern society to develop technology, including WeChat, Facebook,
Right.
and everything.
Yes.
We shouldn't stop it, but we can use it rationally.
Okay, that's a very good term. How can we help people to use technology rationally? And how do we define rational use of something?
First of all, we have to know that WeChat or Facebook are just a tool, for us, not our leader.
Right.
We have to know why we use it.
Yes.
Just for communication,
Okay.
relating with my friends.
Right.
But not just chat in our spare time, leisure time, and when we feel bored,
Okay.
to do something to spend our time.
Okay. That's very good suggestion. Now, could you pass the microphone to, say, Billy and Wyson? Because one is a part-time social worker. He deals with a lot of the teenage problems. So what do you think, Billy? So please help face the microphone, okay? Hello, Billy.
Okay, in my opinion, I always ask some questions to the people.
Right.
The first one is it so interesting to see the Facebook, to use the WeChat in your smartphone, and in many times you will use it just like on bus, when you're walking, when you're eating or do anything, you will use your smartphone and then to surf the internet, right? Yeah, and the second one is it have any attractive things to use the smartphone? I think you just call your friends. I think it is quickly to use the WeChat to communicate, right?
Okay, I think you have make a very good point. Is it really necessary to keep friends in touch using this kind of technology? Can we just make it simple, using something even simpler? So the question is very good. Now, Billy, could you pass the microphone this side so that the gentleman on this side can have a chance to share? Okay, what do you think? Help us to introduce yourself.
My name is Giles.
Thank you, Giles.
Here I have a problem.
Okay.
I have a thing. I think
it's okay.
I mean, is a friend near you is important than a friend using the internet to contact you. Which one is the most important?
Okay. So you're
I
talking,
think- Yeah, I think people using the WeChat or Facebook is using to contact a friend very far away, so they
Okay.
need internet to contact them.
Okay.
But if he or she is near other
Just-
friends,
yes.
so which one is more important?
I think you make a very good point. The interesting phenomenon that I encountered one time is when I visit a family of my friends, they have kids definitely, and when we sit together on the table before just we eat, everyone is so busy, just bobbing. And when I ask, what are you talking to? Are you talking to someone far away? No, I'm just talking to Dad, who's sitting next to me. But we used to do texting to communicate instead of just talking because of the kind of habit of living. So that is a very interesting stuff. Could you pass the microphone to Angel? So maybe Angel could have some word about this. Angel, yes.
Yes. I think so. I wrote down 3 questions.
Right.
And should I answer them?
Oh, you can give ideas. Yes, sure.
So I think in the past we used letters to contact our friends in overseas, but now we can use a mobile phone to contact them very easily.
Right.
And he has thought about also if our friends is near us, why do we need to text them?
Right.
But in my opinion, like in this school, in this university, we are not in the same place, and if we have something to find them very urgent, we can use our mobile phones to call them or text them so they can reply us very quickly.
Right.
But if this is become our habit, how can we deal with it?
Yes. That's a very good question.
Yes, so, and I think, answer my second question is that can we live without our phone for one day? And I can say it myself, I can't.
All right.
I can't live it for more than 30 minutes.
Right.
Yes, and I think it's become one of my life.
Okay.
And there's some also say that our mobile phone is our boyfriend.
Okay.
Yes, it's more close to us, more than our family, more than our friends.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. I think you have given a very good indications of the situations of concern now. Now we are living in the very age of information technology, very much characterized by the convenience of the internet and World Wide Web. Today we just get started to explore the ideas of information technologies and knowledge society through this very simple documentary. Now we got questions more. I hope you continue to post your questions there, even though we finish our class right now. We cannot go beyond 11:20. Now remember, we have a lot of material here to serve as the stimulus for you to think further, particularly according to the schedule of our syllabus. We would like to know something about information technology, and I guess a lot of you have given a very good example, particularly not just technology, but its impact in our daily living, and that's the purpose of this film. The second thing is in the context of knowledge society, sometimes we need technologies to help to bring forth different knowledge, which is, I would say, knowledge now mostly is at our fingertip, right? We can always find a lot of things. And in this particular context, I invite you to come up with questions. And take a look at your questions and come to the discussion forum of this week and look at your fellow students' questions. And on Thursday, when we come back, we try to put things together. Particularly speaking, I would like you to finish watching Digital Nations at home all together. There are 8 chapters there. And for each chapter, there is a specific theme. It's a very good documentary. And for those of you who are really enthusiastic, after you watch Digital Nation, I'm sure you will go back and watch Growing Up Online. This is the first documentary which led to the productions of Digital Nations. And after Digital Nations, which was produced in 2010, you would like to see what's next? And if you want the answer to that question, you come to Generation Like Facebook phenomenon, which was produced, I guess, just in 2014. All right. So it's a follow-up series on how you can put things in perspective. So, having said that, I would say that for those of you who have not finished the questionnaire here, please help finish the questionnaire before the end of the day. 11:55 tonight is the last very important time you can finish the questionnaire. You can see here, all right, it's going to close today at 11:55. Click this link and complete the questionnaire. I need your record. And you want to be rewarded for the questionnaire you finish. At the end of that, come here, click on Dr. Vet's Q&A hotline and leave me a message here and say, I finished the questionnaire before the deadline. You will be rewarded, okay, or rewarded, all right? So I just have to say that I want to dismiss the class now for you to have enough time to go to the next class. And I'm going to see you on Thursday, all right? Thank you very much. And so that's it for today's class, CISG113, Section 1, Information Security and Privacy. Until this Thursday, stay tuned.